There are so many different filmmakers out there in the world, and for many of them, their sole aim is to simply entertain their audience. However, most of the time this turns out to be much easier said than done. Take Michael Bay's ultra in-your-face explosive style of action for example. Bay tries so hard to entertain that his action becomes mind-numbing and eventually dull. Or Zack Snyder, whose slow-motion, ultra-stylized brand of action, despite being cool for one or two scenes, can become boring after a while. However, there is one filmmaker out there who I don't believe gets as much credit as he deserves. That man is Edgar Wright, director of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Wright's unique style of quick cuts and edits make his brand of filmmaking instantly recognisable. To be honest, even if you've never heard of Edgar Wright or any of his films, you've almost definitely seen one of his scenes. His eccentric use of swipe cuts as transitions from scene to scene allow no rest time for the viewer, and almost every transition is used for comedic effect. Through this style, Wright achieves the rare feat that all filmmakers strive for. His films are never boring because there is always something happening visually. He has the ability to make the most mundane activities seem like they're the most interesting thing in the world. For example,
my pen's running out. Not a problem.
In this video, I'm going to briefly break down Edgar Wright's style by showing some videos of my own, and where the cuts appear in the shots. This first example of mine is simply a clock ringing. Zooming in on the clock, typical of Wright's style, attracts the viewer's attention. Now let's watch that back slowly. See where the cut was? The key is to make the transition appear seamless so as to not draw any unwanted attention from the viewer. Now let's see it one more time. My next example is a bit more complex. Take this normal activity of turning on the Xbox. It's not very interesting, is it? Now, when we apply Edgar Wright's style to this mundane activity, it ends up something like this. Now I would say that's a bit more interesting. Edgar Wright's films are like that throughout, and I personally believe that his films are some of the most entertaining films out there. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and that it's shown any aspiring filmmaker out there that there are so many creative ways that you can make your scenes interesting, even the most basic ones. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.